It is always great chatting with my next guest. Nick Maximov is going to be back in action against Puna Soriano, UFC Fight Night, February 5th. Nick, how's it going, man?
I'm doing really well. How are you?
Doing awesome. Big fight. But before we get into that, you're in the car right now. Where are you heading to? And by the way, I got to point out for my audience, you're not driving. You're in the passenger seat. So
yeah, I'm not driving. I'm doing good. I'm getting taken care of. I'm on my way to Stockton. I was back home for a couple of days, going to Stockton, and then might be hitting LA. So
good stuff. And let's start with California. A little bit disappointed you're not on this card this Saturday in Anaheim, being in your backyard in California. Were you kind of hoping to be on that card instead?
Dude, 100%. I was hoping that'd be the next one. I thought it was going to be the next one. From September to January, I thought that was a perfect time frame, but it just didn't work out. So I was a little bummed about it, but it's cool to be on a fight night. Probably get a few more eyes on me rather than it being such a big card and having so many people to look forward to.
For sure. You still got to give Matt a hard time anyways, though, right? Make sure you remind him that you're not on your hometown card. Just remind him that.
Yeah, I will always give him a hard time.
Yeah, that's awesome. It seemed like you got plenty of notice for this fight, man. When did you find out?
Oh, dude, I found out way too soon. I found out like October, September, October, like literally right after my fight. So I've known about this for like 4 or 5 months.
Okay, cool. And are you excited to fight a guy like Puna?
Yeah, he's good. I was kind of surprised to get him just because we're both kind of up and comers. Granted, he lost his last fight. He looked good. Yeah, I think we're both up and comers, so it's an interesting matchup, and I do like it a lot. So we'll see, but yeah, he's a good fighter.
Does it add a bit more knowing that he's never been submitted in his career, and that's kind of your bread and butter, is going out there and tapping guys out? Like, does that add a bit more to a fight like this?
I don't really even think about it like that. I haven't even noticed that, to be completely honest with you. It's more just like, just from what I've seen, he's more of like a power puncher, aggressive fighter. So, I think a few people I've fought have been submitted, haven't been submitted or whatnot. I think it'll be more just coming down to like, who's a better grappler, who can be more dominant, who can be better on the feet, and whatnot. I haven't thought about him being submitted or not.
Okay. No, I was just curious about that. That's what I'm here for. I look at the stats and all that cool stuff or whatever. So there you go. Is it tough fighting a guy like Puna only because, he's such a nice guy, like kind of like yourself, you guys are pretty like friendly, like it's probably easier to fight a guy that you don't like, right?
Yeah, I would think so. It's just, I get enough motivation just kind of signing up to fight somebody. From what I've seen, he seems like a good dude and whatnot. But at the end of the day, we have to just fight each other, and that's the end of it. But
yeah. It's all business. Training camp, anything different for this one, or still training with the Diaz brothers? Anyone else you've been working with for this camp?
No, it's about the same. Sparring with a lot of pro boxers and whatnot, getting the wrestling rounds, jiu-jitsu rounds in. It all pretty much stays the same. It's just, if it's not broken, don't fix it. And it seems like everything's been working out well. Just try to add a few tools and whatnot, adding a few more runs, but seriously, everything just stays the same. I'm not one of those guys that goes into training camp mode and whatnot. I train the same, when I'm in camp and when I'm not in camp. I just add a few more things to the toolbox,
Yeah.
I try not to change anything too drastically.
Okay. Always got to ask about your teammates. First, Nick, I know obviously he had his fight last year. Is he in the gym regularly, or do you get to work with him a lot?
Yeah, for my last camp I did, and I've been working with Nate a lot this camp just because Puna's a southpaw. I mean, I work with Nate just in general, but being a southpaw helps a lot. I think I spar with the best two southpaws in the whole game, with Nate and Nick. So it's been a lot of help and whatnot. Yeah. But yeah, Nick's doing his thing, and same with Nate. I hope they fight soon. I'm just as eager as anybody to see him. They both look good, and yeah, hopefully something happens, man.
You mentioned the conditioning. Do you do those runs that those guys do, like those marathon type runs that Nick and AJ and all those guys do as well?
Not by choice. That's something I've grown to like. I used to really hate them, but now I actually enjoy kind of doing those I change it too. Like, they do a lot more long distance running. I do a lot of long distance, but I try to add more sprinting stuff to it because my style is a little bit different than them. So I try to do like a day of like a lot of miles and a day of like just sprints, or like a mile then some sprint, whatever. I try to mix it up, kind of a little different than they do. But their long distance running is no joke.
What's the longest run that you've done personally? Because I know they do some crazy ones, like they'll just go for hours and hours.
Yeah, they do triathlons, used to pretty regularly. I probably done like 8 or 9 miles.
Yeah. Okay.
I wanted the double digits, but for a guy that's 215, 20 pounds walking around, it's definitely not that easy. And trying to get good times with him can be difficult, but I'm getting better.
You mentioned Nate. There's been a lot of rumors about him coming back and taking a fight. Dustin Poirier is a name that's sort of floating around. You're the guy who trains with him all the time. Do you get the sense that something's on the horizon here soon?
Yeah, I hope so, man. I hope he fights Dustin. I think that'd be a great fight. I think it's a great matchup for Nate. Yeah, I hope so. I know as much as probably you guys. It's just, dealing with such big guys and big names and, all that. I'm sure it's just difficult, and I can only imagine. But, yeah, I hope it's sooner rather than later.
But he's in the gym training with you, like assuming a fight was to come on the horizon, like he's in good shape. He's ready to go, right?
Yeah, if he fought on the same, let's just say like he fought on the same card as me or whatnot, he'd be fine. He'd be ready to go 5 rounds, in my opinion.
And how much of an advantage, if he was to fight Poirier, is the fact that he's fought at 170 a couple times, whereas Poirier, again, he's a guy that's he fought at featherweight and then moved up to 55.
Yeah, man, and I think his biggest weakness is his gas tank. From his last fight, I think he relies a lot on power. He's a good boxer and he's technical and he's pretty strategic, but man, he relies a lot on his power and he doesn't have much of a gas tank. And if you're fighting Nate, that's that could be really rough.
Yeah, and just last thing on Nate, because I don't think we've talked since the Leon Edwards fight.
Yeah,
what was going through your head when Nate clipped Leon late in the fight? Because a lot of people felt like it's over, he's going to do this.
I think everyone kept saying, why didn't he finish him? Why didn't he finish him? And what he tells everybody is like, I tried. He had blood in his eyes. He got cut. I was pretty. I was out of my seat screaming, man. I was like a mascot out there. I was so pumped up. It was really cool. It just shows you what he can do against guys that are still top 2, 3 in the world.
Yeah.
That's impressive. And he's just been in the game for, 15, 20 years. It seems like it. He's been in it since the start. So for him to keep doing what he's doing, it's pretty impressive. And it just shows you that, their stuff that they do, it works. They're martial artists, though. They're not like we talk about all the time. We're not fighters. We're just martial artists. And we just enjoy doing the art. I don't like being labeled as a fighter. And neither does he, We like being labeled as jiu-jitsu and martial artist practitioners.
Okay, I like it. How's the weight cut going ahead of the fight? We're a few weeks away.
I feel good. It's still, anything can happen. It's just crazy, with COVID injuries, sick, everyone's getting sick. So I'm just kind of doing my own thing, focusing on myself, just trying not to worry about what's happening and just taking it day by day.
And since we're in the new year now, do you find as you get a little bit older that weight's tougher to cut, or do you feel like you got it down to a science?
Yeah, man, it's getting easy. It's pretty easy right now. Just trying to get the calories and everything right, get the workouts in, and everything usually falls into place.
Who's going to be in your corner for this fight?
Ooh, that's a good question. I actually just got a text send him my application, so I got to actually figure that out in the next day or two. I'm not quite sure yet, but we'll see.
But I'm sure you're hoping at least Nate maybe being in the corner there. Is that kind of what you're thinking?
Oh, yeah. He's always usually pretty much there and whatnot. And, we'll maybe Nate or Nick. We'll see. Just playing it by ear.
For sure. How's this fight playing out on February 5th? Again, striker versus grappler. Although, you've become very well-rounded in your own skill set here. So how you seeing this one playing out?
I think we'll see. I try not to go in with a game plan or anything like that. Every time I've gone in with a game plan, it doesn't work. I've kind of not had the greatest time, whether it's wrestling or jiu-jitsu or even fighting. So I'm gonna just kind of go in there and get a feel from it, but hopefully, try to get in and get out pretty fast.
What do you think a win sort of does for you here, especially a finish?
I would think it would just keep on propelling me, but it's, all these matchups and stuff are just kind of weird. And some of them are random. Some matchups just don't make sense. So it's like, I don't know. I'm just going one fight at a time, just kind of playing it by ear. But hopefully it propels me up a little bit more.
Are you a guy that sets like New Year's resolutions or has goals for the year at all? And if so, what are some of them? No? Yeah, I was going to say, you don't strike me as a guy like that. Not in a bad way. I was just, you seem like you're kind of go with the flow.
I don't do any of that because I'll probably lose after the first day or two if I do a New Year's resolution.
Yeah, no, for sure. I imagine you want to get at least 3 fights in though this year. That would be ideal.
Yeah, probably like February, May, June, and then maybe another 1 or 2. So we'll see. That'd be ideal. I mean, who knows?
And downtime, you gaming at all? Doing anything outside of training as far as downtime?
Yeah, I've been playing Apex for some reason. It kills a lot of time and it's a fun game. So yeah, I've been doing that, playing video games when I'm not training.
Okay, and last question: you're in the car right now. What are you listening to? If you were to go for a drive or something, are you listening to different music? Are you a sports radio guy? What are you listening to?
Yeah, I listen to music, but I listen to all music. Like I'll listen to rap, then I'll listen to like hip hop to like 80s hair metal to like 90s grudge. Like I like it all. Country, I listen to everything.
Okay. Yeah, have you played? I don't think the Diaz brothers would like country music that much. Is that accurate?
No, that's like more of my mom thing. So that's like.
There you go, Nick. Thanks so much.
That's not a Nick thing for sure.
Yeah, no, I was going to say, Nick, thanks so much for doing this, man. We're really looking forward to the fight. It's UFC Fight Night, February 5th. If there's anyone you want to thank, any sponsors, any social media, I'll give you the last word.
No, you just follow me on social media at Nicholas Maximov on Instagram and Twitter at NickMax15.